We are live. We will be starting at in 28 minutes. We'll be starting in 28 minutes. Starting in 28 minutes. Not bad. Huh? Play with fire. Lewis, hey. How's it going? No, what? Okay, what are you doing? What are you? We will get started in 13 minutes with the Yes California recall candidate debate. We will be starting at 1 o'clock with the Yes California recall candidate debate.
Hey, I just wanted to say hi, Marcus.
Lewis, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I sent you an email about a lawsuit that some of the candidates may want to file to stop the recall conditions. If you get a chance, if you take a look at it.
I saw that. I took a week off.
Okay,
So
score. No problem.
yep. I'll jump back into it, and it is what it is. Then
Yeah, of course. Life comes first. Sorry, life comes first. It's a little warm here today. It's all right. We're getting through it. How you doing? How's it there in Irvine?
We are doing good. I am looking to. There's a nationwide march for Medicare for all, July 24th. There's a really large one in LA, and right now I'm the sole organizer here in Orange County. I'm doing one in Irvine, so I have an open call out for anyone who wants to speak on healthcare, and anyone who wants to talk about healthcare and how it's impacting them. I've invited all the politicians that I can think of. No one wants to do it.
Can you email me your information and I'll get it out to a bunch of people, because that's absolutely the kind of stuff Yes California is about.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If you can email me today, I'll start getting it out to people.
I'll send it out right now.
Yeah, no promises, but what you're talking about, I know a lot of people who are interested in it, and I can definitely get word to them. When do you think you're doing this?
Sorry?
When are you thinking about having this event?
It's the 24th.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's the 24th, and right now I have my friends. My friends are the speakers. We like to get big name speakers, but hey, my friends are, their stories and my story is just as important. Talking about, lack of healthcare coverage, how insurance have screwed me and my friends, talking about the corrupt system that we have and how we can fix it, mental health, so many important topics that each and every one of us have experienced. And hey, Marcus, if you wanna make a trip, I know it's the 24th, but if you want to make a trip,
I'm in Camarillo right now, and because my mom's in Camarillo, it's next to Santa Barbara. It's only an hour for me to get to LA, little over an hour to get there. So, and I'm going to be back on the end of July. So yeah, I could very likely make it out there. Please send me some info. I'll be jumping on this. I know we have a couple of people like Jason Wright is a huge Bernie. Yeah, frankly, a lot of people in Yes California like single payer healthcare. So,
right, and our event specifically is nonpartisan. Of
yes,
course,
sir.
Speakers can talk about whatever they want to speak to, but we're officially nonpartisan, and I'm inviting everyone. If there's conservatives, Republicans, libertarians, anyone who wants to speak about healthcare and they want to march and rally in support of Medicare for all, hey, this is the platform. And like I said, LA and New York and some Chicago are gonna have some massive ones with thousands of people. I'm looking to have maybe 100, 200 people show up in Irvine. That would be that would be what I'm looking for. So I'm sending that to you right now.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Oops.
While running for governor, might as well do something productive.
Yeah. Hey, also,
yes, sir.
I'm going to meet Fuji this Wednesday in El Segundo for lunch. There's a museum exhibit called...
Give me the details.
Yeah. I'll send it to you right now. I'm going to paste this in private chat. Can you see this? Whoops. Close that.
I'll see it after I'm finished with the email.
Yeah.
Look at us making things happen.
I know, dude. Yeah, exactly. It's in El Segundo, and I'm putting everything in the private chat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's this Wednesday. We believe the museum's open, but if you go to private chat, and I'll email you some more, but basically, if you could mark your calendar, sometime this Wednesday, we're going to go to El Segundo to this museum exhibit on California. And I'll buy everybody lunch. I just thought it'd be really cool to meet. And especially because this exhibit's pretty cool. It's all about California and the future possibility. Okay. All right, we'll get started in just a few minutes. Congress did happen. It was just, hey, Jason, what's up? What's up? All good. Life comes first. Congress did happen. It was pretty short. We just went over a couple things. Robert Stark, couple of things, and then that was it. So no problems. Went over the stuff. All good. Had a regular meeting. Just went over fast. Hello, Syed. Yeah, no problem, Jace. All good. Life comes first. Recall candidates debate will start in 8 minutes. We'll be starting at 1 o'clock. And this is an invite to everybody. If you'd like to meet us at the Free Republic. Let me put that in. Okay, I got kicked out of the stream. I don't know how I got kicked out of my own stream. That's bizarre. We're back. We'll be having a recall candidates debate at 1 o'clock in 7 minutes for any candidates that like to participate. And no problem. Hey, Jason. Hello, mister. All right. No problem. Again, we are hosting debates every single Sunday at 1 o'clock for recall candidates if they would like. And we're going to keep going until there is no more interest. That was a commitment we made, and we're going to keep to it. So we'll see if there's candidates today. Then, hey, Lewis, I see you. It says your device is not connected. says your mic or camera, Lewis, is not connected. Okay, all good. All right, we will be getting started in 5 minutes at 1 o'clock for candidates who want to participate in the recall candidates debate. And we'll be getting started very soon. We will be doing this until there's no more interest. Also, we are planning on having a very special debate hosted by the editors of California Focus and another California newspaper for candidates who have qualified for the recall election. Those criteria were released recently, and people have till the 16th to get everything in order. Once we know who's actually qualified as a candidate for this recall election after July 16th, we will host another debate with 2 editors asking questions directly, in addition to possibly other reporters. But we won't be able to do that until the 16th. Whoops. Smooth. Pretty much just if you watch the video, Jason, it walks it right through. So we covered the success of Yes California. Yes California got the discussion continued on secession at a high level, having a candidate for governor pursuing secession in the top level California Policy magazine. Yes California was also at a meeting with the largest conservative secession movement, and that was historic. And Yes California also wrote an article highlighting how the recall election was unfairly released a new set of rules. And so that was success with Yes California informing the public, meeting other independence movements at a high level, and getting the topic of CalExit in high-level policy magazines. So we started off with a list of success from Yes California. We then moved into why the Congress is meeting. We covered 2 different polls on patriotism, showing the lowest amount of pro-American feelings among the youth, anyone under 36 years of age, ever. Also, a marketing survey showed that people in their 30s are not attracted to marketing with the American flag attached to it. So very low patriotism for people who are young, very low association with America for people who are young. Additionally, we talked about a New York Magazine Intelligencer article, which said that political division in America is not permanent. And finally, we talked about California is ignoring federal regulations on coronavirus, even though it's the Biden administration. So California ignored federal regulations on coronavirus under Trump, and they're still doing it under Biden. So very little unity in America. California is still acting like a nation. And that's basically what we did. Let me add a few more people here. Okay. Hook it up, Jason. Send him my email. Okay, we got another person here. Okay, great. Got a couple different candidates. That's excellent. Okay, so we're going to get started in about 1 minute. We have Fuji Shura Dan Kapelovitz, and Dr. Frank Henry Wade. Louis Huang is here. He's working on some technical issues. We will have a recall candidates debate. In 1 minute, we'll get started.
Actually, you know what? I might have to go. I just realized, but I just wanted to say
no problem. No.
Hello, Dan.
It's an open opportunity for anybody.
All right,
So,
I'll probably watch it though. I mean, okay, I'll watch it offline. I'll see you guys.
You're a professor. We like you. We need you. Democracy needs professors now more than ever.
We are not worthy. We are not worthy.
We need you. We need you. Our state needs people like you, and I'm so glad you're glad you're running.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, I hope I have your vote. I'll
You're
see
a
you guys.
go-getter. I like that.
All right.
Okay, our candidates for today are going to be Dr. Frank Henry Wade, Fuji Shura, and Louis Huang. We have a variety of good questions today. By the way, I am inviting everybody to meet me and Fuji this Wednesday at the Free State exhibit in El Segundo. That's the ESMOA El Segundo Museum of Art in El Segundo. It's called Free State. The name of the exhibit is Free State. It's in El Segundo at the El Segundo Museum of Art. It's about California. I'll be meeting Fuji there this Wednesday. If you'd like to be involved, email me and I'll send you some information. But it's the El Segundo Museum of Art. Everybody's invited, and lunch is on me. So, hey, free food,
Marcus,
entertainment.
What time do they open up and what time do they close?
They're not answering their phone today. So I'll have to call them on a weekday. I'm assuming they're closed on the weekends. That's why they're not answering. Because they're saying they're open till the September 15th or something. So I'm assuming they're open on the weekdays. I'll call them tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to show up with coffee in hand 20 minutes early. Because you know why?
Yeah, and we can still go and do an interview right in front of it, right on the sidewalk. That's public property. So
and it's public property, and I think you said it's in El Segundo, right?
El Segundo, yes. So if you'd like to go to El Segundo,
I think it's called El Segundo because it's your second chance at freedom and liberty.
Okay.
Because Spanish, you say El Segundo, maybe means a connotation, our second chance at liberty and freedom.
Maybe. Okay, well, we'll get started with the recall debate. I'm going to do the commercial, and then I'll walk everybody through the conditions. We'll go through the questions. Everything will be outlined for all the candidates. Everybody will see what's coming. If the public would like to ask questions that are relevant, you can post them. We love comments from the public. We will not be posting irrelevant comments or questions. So I understand people like to write funny little quips and, hey, that's funny, but it's never going to see the light of day. So relevant questions, relevant quips, we'll post them. Other stuff, never going to get posted. So just keep that in mind. We love comments, but can't post everything. It's got to be relatable. All right, let's get right into it.
Can I ask one last question?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any prominent news outlet that did interviewed or debated with as many candidates as Yes California that you know of?
No.
Just wondering. Thank you. Just a question.
What does that say right there? Does that say California on the shirt? News? Nice.
Nice, okay. Yeah. Coca-Cola kind of. Okay.
I'm going to go to commercial.
Subliminal messaging.
Let me go to commercial. We'll come back out. We'll get started.
It's the California Recall Debate, hosted by Yes California.
Again, Bill Hensley, star of Broadway musicals for the last 4 decades across California. Yes, California was pleased to be able to contract with him to write that little show tune for these recall debates. Thank you, Bill. We are again inviting everybody who would like to meet us this Wednesday at the Free State exhibit, Free State of California, at the El Segundo Museum of Art. That's the El Segundo Museum of Art at 208 Main Street, El Segundo, California. The exhibit is called Free State. For more information, email me, marcus.ruiz.evans, and I'll tell you more information about it. So we're going to go with the normal format, 2-minute introductory statement for each candidate to explain who they are, why they're running in the race, and why people should vote for them. After that, we'll go to questions from the recall candidate, and we have some hot questions for you based upon recent developments in the recall race. So I'm going to go in order of people as they appear on my screen, and we're going to go with Fuji Shora. Fuji Shora for 2 minutes. Then it will go to Dr. Frank Henry Wade and then Louis Huang, starting with Fuji Shora for 2 minutes. Your introductory statement, candidate Shora.
Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Fuji, and I'm running for California governor. But I think I could speak for Professor Wade and speak for candidate Louis Huang and all the other candidates. I deserve to be governor for a very similar reason that the other candidates here deserve to be California governor. We're talking to you. Where's the other candidates? Are they too good? Are they too rich? Are they too famous to be talking to average citizens, fellow Californians? I want to be governor. I want to take this time that all of us deserve a chance to be in this election because we're here listening to you. We're here trying to answer to the best of our capabilities your questions that concern you the most, to your families and friends. I want to be California governor to give you school choice. I'm a pro-life candidate. I also want to give more genuine transparency and accountability to our state government once and for all, and to make term limits all the way up and down our county elections and state elections and even municipal elections. As an elected official, I've seen waste and fraud, and I had enough of it. And I'm here to be your next California governor. But I'm also here to say my fellow candidates here deserve a fair and equal chance to be considered also, because they're just as patriotic as I am, not less and not more. And I encourage the other candidates, Gavin Newsom, will you join us as fellow Americans, as fellow Californians, and yes, California, to have a vigorous and civil debate? Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Wade, your introductory statement. Dr. Wade.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm Dr. Frank Henry Wade. I have 40 years of experience as a CPA and an executive for companies, and 10 years of experience teaching accounting, mostly in Islamic countries. And I have the CPA. I was basically put in a position where I can be available to be governor because I was kicked out of Bangladesh after 5 years. I lost my visa, and I'm in the process of, in my regular career, going back to a university in Asia, perhaps Pakistan or Nigeria. But because I'm available, I can run. I have my experience as an executive and a CPA, and this is a one-time only opportunity for me. Most people in my background do not go into politics. And basically, I have many ideas. I've ran many different companies, and I can make things very successful. I see that Gavin Newsom has made a large number of mistakes, which are unforgivable, and he's an elitist. I'm basically a poor person, as the majority of the people of California are. So I wish to improve things in the state in order to make this a better state and to become a good governor. And also, I have many ideas which improve the United States as a whole.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Louis Huang, your opening statement.
Yes. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Yes California, Fuji, as always. Dr. Wade, good to hear from you as always. I am gonna take my 2 minutes and take the opportunity. This is something that came up on my Instagram feed from Sally B. Hunt, amazing Bernie Sanders advocate. And she's talking about Maureen Dowd, right, a nationally recognized reporter, went to Vermont to interview Bernie Sanders. And on here, Bernie Sanders has a 1-page written note, and I'm going to read from there right now. Physical infrastructure broadband, right? Broadband for all. Climate, childcare, pre-K, paid family and Medicare, medical home healthcare, prescription drug, expand Medicare, GME expansion, higher education, housing, progressive taxation. This is what my hero and inspiration, Bernie Sanders, is talking about right now. He's been talking about these issues for 40 years, and he's talking about it right now as one of the leaders in Congress. I'm just one person. I'm going to take down my hat because people have criticized me for wearing a baseball cap on a gubernatorial debate, but I wear it because everything that Bernie Sanders has said, I resonate with. I'm an activist. I'm an activist campaigner, and I'm here because I have the opportunity. And again, thank you, President Company, for this opportunity. These are all important issues. Do you want to tax the rich? Do you want to lower taxes for everyone that is hearing me talk right now? Do we want Medicare for all? Do we want all these amazing things? Do we want to fix climate crisis? I do, and everyone, most people that are hearing this also agrees with me. We want all these amazing things, but we can't do it alone. We have to unify, we have to unite, and actually we're all fighting the same thing. All the issues that we're talking about, leaving California and fighting the Democrats, fighting the Republicans, it's all the same broken system. I'm Louis Huang. Please join the movement. Follow my campaign on Instagram, on YouTube, Twitter. Let's have some change for California and for America.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to our first question. All of you have learned about the new recall rules. I believe it was last Friday or July 1st, I think. Forgive me if I get my day wrong, but basically, I think it was last Thursday. The rules came out at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They were announced to the public around noon. The county register of voters offices did not even have the paperwork when those new rules were announced, which is highly unusual. The paperwork came in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to get it in barely before the end of the day. And all of the activity of those new rules took place the very following day at 8 o'clock in the morning, giving people about 1 hour to be aware of the paperwork before it was activated. That was on Friday before the July 4th holiday. Most people were on July 4th for the holiday. Additionally, Monday was another holiday weekend, and Tuesday was the final day this week where you had to get all your signatures together for your in lieu signature requirement and turn them in. Most people who were going to be on the July 4th holiday didn't even know the requirements existed until the day that they had to turn them all in. These rules were set up by Shirley Weber, who was appointed and not elected. Is it fair for unelected officials to release requirements the day of that automatically go into effect within 24 hours? The weekend before the first major holiday after a pandemic where everybody wants to go out and will be distracted, giving people effectively no more than 48 hours to find out about the requirements, get it all together, and turn it in. Is that fair in a democracy? Fuji Shiora.
Thank you, Marcus. It is not only unfair morally, ethically, it is my opinion, my understanding, it is legally unfair. But at the moment, the California governor, who I truly believe was in communication with the Secretary of State in some form or fashion prior to the issuance of these regulations, made sure to make it as difficult and as hard for everyday candidates to run in this California recall election, thereby subverting, weakening our democracy for the highest office in the state. And if the Secretary of State and the Attorney General's silence is deafening on this matter, deafening by the Attorney General, complicity is silence. Silence is complicity. That it is wrong in so many ways. That if the highest office is so corrupted, so nepotistic, with nepotism, that we should worry about it from top to bottom, from the municipal level to the county level to the governorship. So I'm asking all the voters out there, make sure to go to my website, www.candidate.contact, that lists all the candidates, and look at the candidates of your choice, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, or Green Party. And also consider write-in candidates. If you want justice, if you want to shake up the establishment, consider writing the name of the write-in candidate on the list at candidate.contact. Thank you, Marcus.
Yes. Okay. Let's go to Dr. Frank Wade.
Yes, yes, thank you. I completely agree that it was very unfair and that this has definitely been done by the legislature and the executive of the state in order to discourage recall candidates for governor, and they make it basically impossible. But in a larger picture, we have the media that supports the governor, and they and basically everyone goes along with this. The media does not point out that the governor has made major mistakes. Just to list them, that when the COVID-19 was imposed, he did not have a TARP money fund to keep companies from going bankrupt. He has never paid any of the gig EDD unemployment benefits in 2 years. Each gig employee is supposed to get $17,500. Not one penny has been paid out. He lied about preparation for the fires that are coming. He reduced the budget for fire forestry preparation. All the Democrats work together, which I don't mind being a Democrat, except this one is no good. He is a Marie Antoinette that goes to a French restaurant while the people starve in the state without getting any benefits. I love the rest of the Democrats, such as Jerry Brown and Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi. They're my hero. This man doesn't belong with a group of Democrats, and he doesn't belong in the system that kind of protects Democrats. And on the ballot, I'm one of 6 Democrats, with the rest of you 350 Republicans. So I actually have a high position of visibility on the ballot, being a Democrat. But and Gavin Newsom he made a big mistake, and he didn't put his party affiliation on the ballot. He's trying to sue his own appointed Secretary of State to get on the ballot. So, I mean, he's so incompetent, he can't even have his party identification put on the ballot as required by documentation, which was 6 months ago or so. So I think it's very unfair. Things are weighted in against us candidates, including the fee of $4,150. Why did we need to pay that fee, which should have been much less? And I wish the powers that be would publicize this so we could get a refund.
Okay, thank you very much. Louis Huang. is the way that the rules were released and the rules themselves fair and appropriate?
In one word, no. Elections matter, and unfortunately, right now the elections tilt towards the powers to be. That is Gavin Newsom, and that is the party apparatus that he controls and the Democrats control. And keep in mind, I think Dr. Frank Henry Wade mentioned this. I too am a Democrat. I've been a lifelong Democrat, and the rules just do not make sense or undemocratic. So I'm not just talking about big D and big R, the Democratic and Republican. I'm talking about little d undemocratic, and I think that's wrong. We can do better. There we go. We can do better, and we should be doing better, but we need 30, 40 million Californians to be aware of these issues, have to be aware and cognizant and speaking out about these inequities, because really we cannot continue living in a broken system. We cannot allow the corporate powers and the people with the pocketbooks. Same thing. I am micro fundraising for my campaign because I don't want to spend. I'm not independently wealthy. I don't want to use $4,000 of my own money to self-finance my campaign. A lot of campaigns will do that, and you have to ask them why. I am looking for $5 or $10 micro donations from thousands of my supporters on Instagram, and it's not just for my campaign. It's #NotMeUs. It is us fighting back against the powers to be. It is us rejecting the corporate powers, and I think my time's about up. We are rejecting the influence and the powers to be. Thank you, Marcus.
Okay.
Marcus, can I add something to what Louis said?
Sure.
It's an important update to.
Sure.
Oh, man.
Fuji?
Yeah.
Yes, Fuji. Your update.
Hello?
Yes, you are back and connected. Your update, sir.
Yes. Well, I did contact the Orange County Registrar of Voters, and according to them, we need to pay the $4,194.94 prior getting to the nomination paperwork. So please, Louis, call them Monday and confirm this. So just want to give you that, head start. So before you get the actual paperwork to collect the signatures, they want you to pay it's non-refundable from my understanding, the $4,194.94. So if you get all the signatures above and beyond the signature requirement, and you send in 2 copies of your taxes and you're missing a page, I guess based on these rules, you'll be disqualified if you happen to send 1 page missing from the 2 copies. So I encourage you, please call Monday. And also, I am a California tax preparer. I'm offering these services pro bono, free of charge. If there's any tax services you need related to the election, it is free of charge. Contact my campaign. I'm there for all the candidates, regardless of political party. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments on that question from any of the other candidates?
Good.
Okay, then we'll move on to the next question. Let me pull that up.
Well, if I could just make a comment, if I can make a comment on the details.
Sure. You are unmuted. And then I'd like to go to the next question, guys.
Right.
Professor Wade.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with the details complying with the tax return.
I didn't make that out. What? Professor Wade? You are unmuted, sir. What is your comment, sir?
Yes, I don't see any problem with complying with the details of the tax return. What I find problem with the $4,150 fee, if that could be refunded to us, I think that's unnecessary. You have over 350 candidates, each paying $130,000 that the state gets, and this is unnecessary. The state has to pay.
Okay, we lost connection. We're going to move on to the next question. The next question is, okay. On Monday, June 28th, I believe, the California government passed a law called SB 152, which lets state officials bypass one of the steps of certifying the recall election. Under the previous law, the Department of Finance was to issue a cost estimate, after which the Joint Legislative Budget Committee had 30 days to review and comment on the costs. Both the review by finance and the review by lawmakers were steps put into place less than 4 years ago by the Democratic lawmakers. SB 152 lets the Secretary of State office certify the recall before the Joint Committee has had 30 days to review the estimate, so long as the legislature has approved the funds it determines reasonably necessary to conduct that event. The changes could speed up the timeline for the Newsom recall. Lawmakers passed Monday. The bill lawmakers passed Monday is in contrast to the measures passed 4 years ago, when Democrats adjusted the recall rules to help State Senator Josh Newman's odds of surviving a recall. At that time in 2017, lawmakers were looking to extend the timeline of certifying the recall election for the ballot and added the review period that they're now trying to bypass. The question to you as a candidate is, given that the Democratic Party 4 years ago created these recall rules in order to help a Democrat survive a recall, is it fair that the Democratic Party now is undoing all of the same rules they only put into place just 4 years ago so that they can move the timeline even faster? We just talked about how it was unfair that the Secretary of State announced all these rules in a quick manner. Was it fair that the California legislature created a law on June 28th, days before it went into effect? Right? This law goes into effect June 28th. They're activating it July 1st. We're talking about a 3-day run. So the Democrats pass a law 4 years ago, and then they say, no, let's gut all of that, rip the whole thing out, and do it this way so we can have a fast recall election now. Let's get rid of the rules we passed just a few years ago, and let's do it less than 3 days before they go into activation. Is that fair and democratic? Candidate Fuji Shore. I'm sorry, you're muted. Let me unmute you. You are unmuted.
Thank you. I was afraid you were working for the state government. You're trying to mute the candidates. Oh, wait, that's somebody else. That's the state government. But in all seriousness, that's what's happening. We're being muted, but we're doing it through the legal mechanisms. And the state legislature, the California governor, the Secretary of State, and the lieutenant governor, and yes, the attorney general is muting us. Voter suppression. And let me say, this short period window of getting to vote in September 14th, it is not only unfair, it is dangerous. Isn't there something called the Delta variant of the coronavirus? Why would you want to have rushing people crowding, trying to vote at the last minute? Isn't it dangerous? People trying to get in mail-in ballots and everything else? Will there be confusion? Will people trying to be rushing in but saying, oh, wait, there's not time to vote, so I just avoid it altogether? Also, for many years, as a side note, I've always wanted the first week of July, the 4th of July, to be a 7 days period where everybody gets to vote, either for local, county, or statewide or federal elections. Well, I can't have power over federal elections. As governor, I will rectify this to make sure all local, municipal, county, and state elections will fall on the 4th of July week, where it'll be 7 days people get to vote. 7 days. Public transportation will be free to allow people to do so. I will allow blockchain voting for very simple, basic voting for school boards, library trusteeships, and so forth. And now is the time to say, we Californians have to be very careful because our democracy is under direct attack by our elected officials and state government. So do not take this lightly. This is not a Democrat or a Republican or a Libertarian issue. This is a freedom issue for everybody. So it is not only unfair, it is dangerous. It should have been the second Tuesday of November. That would have been the most logical, reasonable, and appropriate action to have this vote in the recall. Second Tuesday of California, the second Tuesday of November, and for the state of California. Thank you.
Professor Wade, let me unmute you. 1 second. It's sometimes the computer system doesn't work like there it is. You are unmuted.
The other candidate that it is very unfair, and I must point out that the public may not be aware of this unfair change of the rules in order to expedite the election, so Gavin Newsom possibly would have a better chance to win. But later, when they realize that there's going to be blowback against the administrators that made these rule changes. So I implore the people who in the legislature, don't change the rules. Don't make it difficult for the recall candidates who want to replace Gavin Newsom. Refund to us the part of the $4,200 which we have to pay. That should just be a minimal $1,000. When I ran for Congress, I believe I only paid $1,000. This ridiculous to pay so much and to expedite the election to make it quicker. This is unfair. The election, as I agree with Lewis, should be in November. And if the legislature thinks that the public is won't be aware of this skullduggery and dishonest behavior, they have a thing coming, because the public will recognize it later and there'll be blowback, and they will get rid of those legislators that voted to make this election so unfair. So they still have a chance to change the rules to make it the way it should have been made 4 years ago without changing the rules. They should go back to that and also reduce the fees so the public will realize that the legislature is playing very fair. But if they continue this dishonest behavior and unfair behavior, they will be the ones who will reap the blowback against them when the public finally realizes what they have done in violating their fiduciary responsibility as a duly elected legislature.
Thank you. 1 second here. Candidate Huang.
Yeah. Again, yes, it's unfair. This is basically, to use a sports term, I guess. We can talk about the NBA finals, or we can use it as a Euro Cup finals, which is going on these days. It is akin to a team who is running to win the championship, also being the referees and also being the judges and also being writing the rules for the sports. That's what we have here in California. and that's the system that we have set up. And again, I'm gonna be a broken record. You know, if you think this is wrong, if you think this is broken, you know, join the system and fight the system. Now, me, right, I, as a lifelong Democrat, I tried to be part of the system. I ran for California Assembly District Delegate here in AD 68 here in Irvine, California, and I was around 80 or 100 votes short of being a part of the California Democratic Party as a AD 68 delegate. So that was me trying to influence the system. Luckily, I have a lot of good friends who are part of the California Democratic Assembly, and they are the CDP. They are the California Democratic Party, and we can, you know, if my friends who believe in democracy, who believes in fair elections, we can rewrite the rules anytime we wish to, and we can continue to do recall and all that. Now, the situation is, this is a Republican-funded, backed by Republican conservative billionaires, trying to win an election that they normally can't win in a normal election cycle. So this is them trying to take down Gavin Newsom, who, you know, by all accounts is a popular leader. Now, I'm also trying to do my best. I'm also, you know, I'm a Democratic Socialist delegate. I'm now a national delegate, and I'm going to be at the National Delegation Convention in Chicago next month. And again, this is me being Louis Huang trying to fight the system. And I urge people who are watching this, reading this, I see Jason Wright on there. You know, there's so many ways we can try to fight the system. We just have to get off our butts, and we have to come together. We have to do something, and we have to put in the hard work, because you have all the special interests and you have the billions of dollars against us. Thank you.
Okay. Recently, the Democratic Party told NBC News that they're actively telling all Democrats not to run for office. In Russia, in addition to other not fully democratic countries, the way that they run a democratic election is by choosing the candidates that the public gets to hear about and who get to run. They no longer execute people or disappear them. They just own most of the major networks, make sure that you never get to hear about these candidates, and they ensure that only the candidates they like are the ones the public ever actually gets to choose. How is it different when the California Democratic Party is 60 to 70%? I'm going to need everybody. Okay. How is it different when the California Democratic Party runs 60 to 70% of California and has good relations with the media, and then tells every Democrat, don't even run? There's only going to be one candidate that the people of California get to hear about or choose. How is that system of government different than the form of democracy they have in Russia? Candidate Shura.
Do I have 2 minutes?
Sure.
Oh, minute and a half. Okay, let me give you my answer. Let me go up to my site and read you let me say my answer. Here's my 17 Democrat candidates running: Jesus Cristo, Douglas Dyke, John R. Drake, Anthony Alfanaro, Brian T. Farley, Robert D. Griffiths, Patrick Kilpatrick, Louis Wong, Gavin Newsom, Armando Mando Perez Orato, Kevin Parath, Ronald J. Palmieri, Tor H. Leonard, Jeremy P. Lupoli, Joe A. Ventresca, Henry Frank Wade, Daniel Thomas Watts. Those are listed as Democrats. I wonder, how is this going to be a Republican-led attack? This is not. I want to thank those 17 Democrats running for California governor. Thank you, and God bless you. Because as an elected candidate, you and I both know what's going on. This isn't about Republican or Democrat or Libertarian. This is about democracy and you doing what's right. And some of those Democrat candidates are professors. Some of them are one's a professor of law, from what I know. Another is another lawyer. I just added another one just today, another Democrat candidate. So this is far beyond that. As for me, I'm independent. I'm self-funded. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-immigrant. So I'm not Republican nor Democrat. But I will say this, that we have over 70 candidates running from all backgrounds, and they are patriotic Californians. And I am so glad to say that here and now, here we're going to have an election like no other time in history. But I also want to say it's up to the voters to get involved because, yes, now voter suppression, we're being muted as voters from our selection. So thank you. That is my answer.
Professor Wade. You are unmuted, Professor Wade.
Yes, well, I totally agree with this thinking that the Democratic organization that is trying to suppress this election and the media that doesn't give time to the other candidates, they will reap the whirlwind or the blowback eventually. I just have to call their attention to what happened in 1958. The Republicans had Goody Knight as governor and had some other candidate as senator. I forget the guy's name. Anyway, he wanted to run as president. He was a conservative. And so Goody Knight ran for senator. He went from the governor to senator, and the senator ran for governor so he could get the 1960 election. And what happened in 1958, the voters voted out the Republican candidate for governor and the Republican candidate for senator. They said, enough of this nonsense trying to trick the public. We'll get rid of you both. And that's how Governor Edmund G. Pat Brown was elected the first time in 1958. So the blowback from the public will come when they realize the skullduggery of the Democratic Party that seeks to keep grabbing Newsom in power with this trickery, and also the general media not giving a voice to the other candidates. So be that as they may, they can continue to try to continue in this hoax, but the blowback will come and the public will eventually not support them. But if they wanted to be really honest, they would change the rules to make the election in November, pay us back the high fee that was charged to us to run, and to give us airtime in the media so we can have a proper democratic discourse like they have in Europe. Not like they have in banana republics where they have a pretend democracy where there's, I was in Bangladesh when there was terrorism. The first thing the government did was to shut down the opposition offices that had nothing to do with the terrorism. They are a pretend democracy like so many other countries, and we're getting to be a pretend democracy in this country.
Okay. Louis Huang, how is it different between how elections are run in Russia and what's going on with the California Democratic Party, specifically as it relates to the steps they're taking to discourage candidates in this recall race? Louis Huang.
Yeah, I don't know how much more I can add to this topic. It's again, I will always fight for democracy. Anywhere, Russia, UK, England, South America. I mean, if there's, I will always be fighting for democracy. I believe strongly in power, of the people, by the people, and I don't have much say in the California Democratic Party. I'm not part of Gavin Newsom's campaign, nor would he invite me to be on his campaign. And I have worked on campaigns before. This is the strategy that they have employed to try to win and continue to keep power. And all I can encourage people to do is, be aware of it, fight against it, activate against it, be an activist. And I'll I'll leave it at that.
Oh man.
I have a
Okay,
question
let me.
for Louis.
Sure,
I
but everybody
believe,
gets a chance to respond.
indeed, I believe at the moment we're the two Asian candidates, aside from one Indian candidate, we're the two Asian candidates, being Oriental, that is. I'm Japanese American. Luis is Chinese American. I believe we're the only ones with those particular backgrounds that I know of. Hopefully that will change. But as of now, as those are the only two I know, myself and Louis Wang. I would encourage you, Louis, to join me with an open letter to contact the Asian Pacific Islander Legislative Caucus. It's I'm at the website and it says the California Asian Pacific Islander Legislative Caucus represents and advocates for the interests of the diverse API, Asian Pacific Islander communities throughout California. It seeks to increase Asian Pacific Islander participation and representation in all levels of government. Increase API, or Asian Pacific Islander representation in all levels of government, including statewide appointments and statewide elected offices. Their budget for the next 3 years is $210 million. Okay, will they help us have a fair and open election? Please, Louis, as a fellow Asian American, help me contact them to put a stay to these 5-year tax returns, to put a stay to this $4,194 for all candidates, not just us, but for all candidates. Because right now, Rob Bonta, as far as I know, is the first Filipino Attorney General. Rob Bonta, you're the top law enforcement officer in California as Attorney General. You're Filipino. Sir, please, for the love of God and for our future generations, do what's right for the California state constitution, not for the Democrat Party, Republican Party, or whatever party. Do what's right. You swore an oath to defend the United States Constitution. One nation under God, indivisible. Did you swear that allegiance? I did as an elected official. Will you do the same and act it out with your deeds? Rob Bonta, Attorney General. Let's get to work. $210 million to help Asian Pacific Islanders to get an elected office. Is this how it's done? By suppressing candidates with $4,000 and a short period of time to collect the nomination signatures, and an election in September 14th, when you know every mom and dad is rushing to the school trying to get the kids enrolled right after a horrendous pandemic of last year? Do what's right, Rob Bonta, Attorney General. I implore you, listen to your better angels. Thank you. Louis, you have my offer to write an open letter to that organization called Asian Pacific Islander Legislative Caucus. And yes, it's apicaucus.legislature.ca.gov. Thank you.
1 minute response from candidate one.
No problem. Now, I don't know that particular organization. The $210 million that you speak of, I'm just going to venture a guess. That $210 million come from special interests, come from corporations, and yes, they come from mega millionaires and billionaires. And it's their way to control API candidates, so that when API candidates are elected using those $210 million, let's say I'm running for Irvine mayor and I partake in those $210 million. Well, as an elected official, if I make legislative proposals, it better clear the approvals of those special interests. It better clear the approvals of the billionaires and the mega millionaires who are donating to me to keep me elected. So it's all part of the broken system. Money talks, money speaks, and right now we're talking about $4,000 so that we can be on the freaking ballot, right? $4,000, and we'll see how many candidates clear the hurdles. It's a broken system. It's all a joke, but But what we have to realize is it's all tied to money. It's all tied to power. It's all tied to the special interests and the billionaires who are trying to get even more billions out of us. So that's all I have to say on that. So thank you so much, Fuji, for the shout out, and I'm more than open to signing it, and I'll get other candidates to sign as well.
Thank you. Professor Wade, 1 minute response. Professor Wade, you have the option of a 1 minute response, sir.
Stated there that this is a chance to get some extra votes from the Asian community. I don't know how sincere they are, but of course, it's justified to try to get more involvement of the Asian community in the election process. But I go back to the point that I made earlier, that the Democratic establishment is trying to make it difficult for us candidates to unseat Gavin Newsom by the fees, by the filing dates, and by the media not giving us coverage. And this is the unfair thing. I'm really not, I don't have any special knowledge of unfairness in regard to the Asian community. Maybe they're motivated to try to just involve more Asians. So I don't really have an opinion there, but I have a broader opinion that the Democratic establishment is very, very unfair. And I beseech them to change their ways now before it's permanent, because there will be blowback, just like the Republicans who tried to switch the governorship and senators in 1958. The public is not to be trifled with. They will come back and unseat the party that is trying to be unfair to the opposition. So
thank you.
I beseech them to be fair in this election, reduce the fee, and give us the normal timeline for the elections, which was established 4 years ago.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to the last question, and then there will be 1 minute closing statements. Last question, followed by 1 minute closing statements. Here's the last question. California tried to make it a requirement that the President of America had to show 5 years of tax returns to run. The California Supreme Court struck that down as unconstitutional. Recently, Shirley Weber, an unelected official, said that recall candidates must show 5 years of tax returns. Multiple legal scholars have said that is unconstitutional because you tried to do it and it was struck down by the California Supreme Court. Is it fair for an appointed, not elected official who's not a lawyer and not a judge to say, hey, I know multiple people said this was unconstitutional and the California Supreme Court said it's unconstitutional, but I'm going to do it anyways because I have that kind of power? Is that fair and democratic for unelected officials to make arbitrary decisions on legal decisions that have been called into great amount of question in a way that discourages candidates from participating in this election? Candidate Shiora, your response. Sorry, let me unmute you. Sorry.
Thank you. It is not just unfair, it is dangerous to our representative form of government. And now more than ever, these last minute changes, like in baseball, they're moving the bases from second base closer to Gavin Newsom. And when the regular candidates play in the game, they move it farther afield. These last minute changes isn't just about winning a governorship. It's about subverting, weakening our democracy, a representative form of government. Now more than ever, that this is on very dangerous grounds. And if California is the most important state economically and with the most members of Congress, it bodes a very dangerous situation for the United States of America. It is truly divided. And now this is specifically why in many other states, there's tremendous amount of mistrust with the federal government. because what's going on in the state of California does have a direct impact with the most members of Congress coming from California. So it is interrelated. It is interconnected. Our gross state product is over $3 trillion. So we do have influence on the federal budget. So this is one of many reasons why we need a fair, transparent, and accountable election. And we don't have that right now. And this is why it's up to you, California voters, to vote with your conscience, vote for our democracy. And yes, the last minute rules are being changed, and they're moving the bases around to favor one home team called the Democrat Party. But the Democrat voters, this is not the party that you know of. This is not the party that my family knew of. That I have family members that are Democrats, even they see what's wrong. This is no longer a Republican or Democrat issue. This is a democracy issue. So this is not only unfair, it is illegal in every way possible I could imagine. And this is, I would say this one last time. Rob Bonta, Attorney General for California, please do your job, investigate, and if necessary, help put a stay on this illegal 5-year tax return. Also, put a stay on anything else you deem illegal in this election that is wrong. And for God's sake, at least make the election date Tuesday, the second Tuesday of November. You could do that much. If you're not willing to fight or contest and put a stay for the 5-year tax return or the $4,000, $195 filing fee, okay. But for the love of God, for our democracy, change the election date to Tuesday, the second Tuesday of November. If it's good enough for the presidency, it should be good enough for everyday Californians. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Wade, your response. Is that fair?
Yes, I'm a CPA and a 40-year tax practitioner. I have no problem with submitting tax returns, but it's unnecessary. I wanted Trump to give his tax returns, so to reveal too much to us, what he owned and what he doesn't own. I have a suspicion he doesn't own anything. He's basically an entertainer and has sold management contracts to allow his name to be on various buildings and various companies. But showing the tax returns are totally unnecessary. But I make this point that when we submit the tax returns, are they going to approve us on the ballot? I would say that in every case they're going to say, well, we can't approve you on the ballot until we investigate the tax returns. So in effect, this is a means to keep us off the ballot totally, because in order to evaluate the tax returns, they have to go back tax board, perhaps the IRS, and try to determine, are these realistic tax returns? And it's almost impossible to do that quickly. So let's say that each one of us doesn't have access as a candidate until they get the tax returns reviewed, and they're not going to have them reviewed by August or the date September election. They're probably not going to have them reviewed properly for the November election. So this is a means. They just don't want to show us that. They just don't want to see the tax returns. They want a means to disqualify us on a temporary basis. So that's exactly what they're doing. And the public should not stand for it, because it's dirty tricks, just like the Republicans tried to do in 1958, and they lost everything as a result of these dirty tricks. The Democrats are going to lose everything, their special position in the state, if they continue like this, because the public is not stupid. They'll realize what they're trying to do, and there's going to be tremendous blowback. The fact of the matter is, they put up an incompetent Democrat to be governor, and he's done a lousy job as governor. So they got to own up to it and get rid of this guy so the state can be properly.
Thank you.
Now, if they want to continue with this this incompetent person, they're going to reap the whirlwind because the blowback come from the voters.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to 1 minute closing statements. 1 minute closing statements. 1 minute statement. Fuji Shore, closing statement.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Hilaire Fujishiora. I'm an elected official in California. I'm also an independent candidate for California governor. Now more than ever, we need new people in elected office. Be a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whatever preference you may have politically. I encourage you and I pray that you vote for new people in office. Now is the time to have a representative form of government. And that will really happen.
Give me 1 second. The mic control or not. Sometimes they're just not responsive. Give me a second. I'm literally pressing the button, it's just not activating.
He's working. You know, I have to say, Dr. Frank Henry Wade he's driving. You know, and people like him, we should all respect Dr. I just want to say one last thing about Dr. Henry Frank Wade. He's working. He's a hard worker, and you know, I'm so happy and privileged to be here. And I just want to thank Dr. Henry Wade for being part of this debate and working. Instead of retiring, he's working hard. And that is so American of him. It is so Californian of him. Going back to myself, my name is Fuji. Family, unity, justice, integrity. Our representative form of government is under attack. And the enemies are within. It's not a Republican or Democrat issue. It's now more than ever that everyday Californians rise up to a higher calling and vote. Vote for new people. Vote for myself. Or vote for, if you want to vote Republican, then vote for somebody who's never been in elected office before. If you want to vote Democrat, then again, vote for somebody else who's never been in elected office. I encourage you to do what's right for our democracy. And that's what's right for certain political parties. Because now is the time to say yes to California. There is a reason, a deliberate, intentional reason. San Diego Union Tribune, Los Angeles Times, San Francisco Chronicle, and so many other news media outlets have not and will not show all the names of the 70 plus candidates that I've listed on my candidate website at www.candidate.contact. Why? Ask yourself as a voter, why won't they show you the names? Don't they trust you? They obviously don't. I trust you. Go to my website, www.governor.life. Also, call my campaign, 805-NOW-VOTE. My name is Fuji. Family, unity, justice, integrity. Thank you.
Professor Wade, your closing statement. Professor Wade, closing statement. Professor Wade, closing statement.
Yo, thank you. Just to summarize, I'm a doctor. Yes, I have a doctorate from Gothier University. I have 40 years of experience as a CPA, working as an executive for various companies. And I basically lost my visa in Bangladesh. That's why I'm here. I'm a conservative in terms of national policy. I spent 2 years of my life supporting the war in Vietnam. I've supported all of America's foreign policy from Barry Goldwater to the end. I also support all democratic legislation. I'm a liberal domestically and support all the major programs of the Democratic Party. I find Gavin Newsom to be incompetent. He must be recalled. And I, as an executive, can do a much better job than him. And you can call me at 415-240-6744 or write me and buy my book, sending $100 to Post Office Box 427-254, San Francisco 94142. My book, which is hopefully will be a bestseller. Hamilton was correct. The U.S. dollar will remain supreme and warning the coming crash of gold. The book reveals that we as Californians can have unlimited budget deficits by transferring the budget deficit to the national debt. And this is by this can be done very simply. My book outlines it. It will give us the money to do the programs that we need to help solve the problems of the state. And Gavin Newsom has been totally incompetent, and he cannot continue. And that these tricks that the Democrats have done will be known to the public, and there will be blowback, and hopefully they would make it.
Thank you. Sorry, have to be fair to all candidates, making sure they get the same amount of time. That concludes this debate. I appreciate it very much. We'll be back.
Can I just make one news announcement?
If it's less than one,
not about me.
As long as it's no more than 60 seconds.
Okay.
Please start.
I got an email update. We do have another candidate that listed his website. He just contacted me. Beautiful website, great family pictures. His name is Anthony Trimino. I hope I'm saying that correctly, sir. Forgive me if I'm not. It's a beautiful website. I encourage all voters to take a look at this candidate. His name is Anthony Trimino, I believe is the pronunciation, and I will be putting it on my website. Anthony is the website.com, and I like it because it's in English and in español. Entonces, si es votante en California, quieres votar para una persona que habla español, visitar anthonytrimino.com. So I just want to give that news announcement. And Marcus, could you please explain the hours and address of El Segundo, the museum, for the audience?
We will be here this Wednesday at the Free State exhibit. It's called Free State. It's at the El Segundo Museum of Art at 208 Main Street, El Segundo. They are not picking up the phone today. I will call them tomorrow. I guess that they're open during the week, since they say that their exhibit is open until the end of September, and we're not even there yet. So I'm assuming they're open during the week. I've been there post-COVID. They did allow people in. Please get a hold of me or Fuji, and we'll see you there Wednesday. And that's the end of our debate. Thank you very much.
It's the California Recall Debate, hosted by Yes California.